Why, hello and welcome to the PHP. I'm Booker. That would be Perez. How are you, Mr. Mustache?
I am extra excited for today's show because it's going to be extra good.
Yeah.
For two main reasons. One, we are talking about a lot of controversial issues.
Oh, I like
and
that.
Two, I have upset multiple groups of people.
Yes.
So we're going to get to all of that. We're going to talk the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. It's a legal show. We're also going to get to the Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians trial. We're going to talk Elon Musk. We're going to talk Lizzo, Harry Styles, Madonna.
He keeps sending me videos of Madonna. So it's much fantastic.
We're also at the very end of our show going to have a chat with RuPaul's Drag Race alum, Broadway alum, and just fierce diva Peppermint. So stay tuned for that. But first, I saw that you went to Disney California Adventure. You had a good time?
I did indeed. It was a late night, but it was good. It was outside. I'm dragging a little bit because of it. I think I got myself a cold.
Oh, but, no. You're like my mom thinks you can get a cold if it's cold outside.
We keep talking about this. You used to think that too.
I don't. Well, because my mother told me that.
She must have put that in your head. Well, no. I was just around a lot of people. Not from being outside. It wasn't cold. There were so many people, and I'm like, I got my booster shot as well. So that kind of
your third booster,
second booster. So that knocked me down. I just makes me tired. Some people it affects. That. Yeah, you should get that.
What else have you been up to?
A lot of interviews. I interviewed Chris Martin yesterday, who's always delightful.
I saw that he went to Barbara Streisand's 80th birthday party.
Cool.
You know, they're all Malibu residents. So there's like the Malibu celebrity crew. They're just friends with each other.
But you know, Chris Martin really plays all that down, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, I had a question for him. I said, listen, what if you go to like one of these fancy people parties and you walk in, you bring a date and you see a piano and they're going to like chastise you until you play and eventually you relent. So when you sit down, what do you play? Is there like a Coldplay song you go to? Is it like Billy Joel? Give me a taste. And he goes, well, I don't really go to things like that. And I'm like, bullshit.
He was just at Barbara Streisand's birthday party.
Exactly. I was like, come on, man, tell us a story. I think they're very guarded about their money and, they have a lot of it and it's understandable. I guess you kind of still want to be somewhat relatable, but then again, do you really need your stars to be that relatable? I mean, we know that it's happening, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yeah. I do not even remember what I did this weekend. That's a good thing. I've been real busy. What did I do this weekend? Oh my God, it's going to drive me crazy. Who cares? Whatever. I did a lot of stuff with my kids. I've been busy. Let's get to the show. But before we get to the show, I'm very happy that Magic Spoon is back.
Nice.
For those of you watching, I'm wearing a tank top. It's almost summer. So if you're looking to slim down for the beach or the pool, for Vegas, for any vacation, Magic Spoon will not magically help you. They will help you with science because Magic Spoon is science-backed cereal that cuts out so much of the bad stuff in other cereals and leaves you with delicious, healthier food. I don't call it breakfast food necessarily because I've said before, you can have it for lunch, for dinner. Magic Spoon has amazing variety of flavors, cinnamon, fruity, the traditional ones, plus also more fancy flavors like maple waffle and honey nut, which is their new reformulated honey nut. Plus, it's got 0 grams of sugar, 13 to 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs, and 140 calories a serving. Go to magicspoon.com/Perez to grab a custom bundle of cereal and be sure to use our promo code Perez at checkout to save $5 off your order. Magic Spoon comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. So for any reason you don't like it, you will get your money back, no questions questions asked. So remember, enjoy guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/Perez and use code Perez to save $5 off. Thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring. Support us by checking them out. It's going to drive me crazy that I cannot think of a single thing that I did. Oh, I went to see this movie. I slept through the whole thing. The Bad Guys, some animated film I took my kids to. We did that. What else did we do?
It's Wednesday. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to, I can't remember what I did this weekend. I have no idea.
I know. It's like, oh my God. I remember that. And then I did a couple of other things. So at least that's one thing that I remembered. All right. Let's start the show with the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial.
Wow.
It's going on its third week now. And honestly, well, I mean, I guess it makes sense. I did not expect it to be as big as it is and dominate conversation as much as it is. Obviously, a lot of that has to do with the fact that it is filmed, that we can watch the proceedings. And Johnny Depp,
it's filmed, it's recorded.
You know what I mean? God. Johnny Depp for decades was an A-list actor. So despite his quote tarnished reputation, he still has a lot of fans that will defend him and that just refuse to believe the allegations against him, which is fine, But more than that, like, it's one thing to refuse to believe the allegations against him. It's another to completely deny the possibility that he too was toxic in this relationship. Like, they've just made him out to be this saint.
Yeah, it's truly fascinating. These fans, these truly fans, fanatics.
They're the first group of people that I've upset, and you too. You upset them as well.
I don't care about any one of them. They're all, and I said it last week, I'll say it again. They're all sycophants. Those online people are sycophants. There's something wrong with them. These people are so obsessed. They scream these facts as if they were there and they were a fly on the wall. I'll just go back to what I said initially. These are two people that both had their hand in on this situation. And I don't know what to say other than that, as no one else should. All of this stuff is coming out. This is a circus. This has turned into an absolute circus that's televised for everyone to watch. And I must admit, I never thought in a million years I would be fascinated by any of it, but I am. I'm fascinated by Johnny Depp.
What's interesting is, it's really peeling the curtain back. Is that the expression?
Peeling the onion back.
Or lifting the curtain up. There you go.
There you go.
It's lifting the curtain up, and we're looking and hearing and seeing and learning things that we should not. Like, do I need to know? Should I know the details of Amber Heard's alleged drug use, or the details of Johnny Depp's alleged drug use that's all now being made public on the stand? And what's fascinating too is a lot of these things we've known and have been repeated, and we're just rehashing it all.
Right.
Like a lot of these videos and audio, like we've heard and seen before, but now we're like living through it again. And what I said last week, I think it's toxic for all of us personally, but people are consuming it so much. Yeah. And even just yesterday, I upset people again by expressing my disappointment with the system. There was, like, it's weird to me that doctors can be on one side. Oh, the defense is bringing in the doctor. A doctor should be like a Supreme Court justice, right? Impartial.
Yeah.
A doctor should just be a doctor, and this is medicine and this is that. But this forensic psychologist who did not treat Amber Heard, just administered a couple of tests, spent very minimal amount of time with her, is testifying that Amber Heard has borderline personality disorder. I would think only somebody that spent substantial amount of time with a patient could do that. But apparently that's not how the system works in the United States. And I've since learned, not just from the haters, but also from people that have been through processes like this, like, thank God I haven't had to deal with insurance a lot, but like insurance carriers, they might have you call somebody that you've never met before, and they'll give you some diagnosis that you're this or that or the other.
When it comes to psychology, there's only a certain amount of type of person that you could be. It's a finite amount of people. Like if you're a trained psychologist,
I understand that, but I would still think you need to spend meaningful time with somebody.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just sort of explaining to anyone that may not know this. It is wild to me. But I listen, don't take this as I disagree with you. I think you're absolutely right. How can you comment on somebody that you haven't treated? Like, that's insane to me. It's crazy, but that is a system. That is what it is. I agree with you.
And it goes back to, what I've said over and over again, that we are living in such a polarized time and a black and white world, which is weird, because I would think as we evolve as humans, we would start to understand that there's nuance. I used to see the world as black and white when I was young and dumb, but now I'm an old fart and I understand that there's gray and complexities.
Sure.
Even like Howard Stern got in the mix, calling Johnny Depp a narcissist, and that set off people. Like Howard Stern was trending, and I was looking at the responses that people were talking about Howard Stern, and I'm like, oh my God, such vitriol just by saying he's a narcissist, which, hello, most actors are.
This just did breaking news. Exactly. We've chronicled this a billion times on this show.
What's so shocking about saying Johnny Depp is a narcissist?
There is absolutely nothing, but it's these, back to the word, sycophants. It's back to these crazy whack jobs. They're all lunatics. Never in a million years, and I don't understand it. I get Johnny Depp. I get that he's a big movie star, but
she's a known actress.
Okay,
as well.
known actor, fine. But I even understand people having such passion for musicians, even it's their words speak to you. It's relatable. He's just an actor. He's taking other people's words in different movies and settings and whatnot. It's different, if you know what I'm saying. So I don't understand how he has such a crazy fan base. That's my question.
It's the same thing like Leonardo DiCaprio. Johnny Depp used to be a teen heartthrob.
Oh, so it's almost like you were in a boy band.
Exactly.
And they won't right. Exactly. It's like you're Harry Styles because and you'll always be that kid. That's it. I think we've nailed it. Okay. That's it. That's got to be it.
Because if you've noticed, and I have, the majority of his hardcore fans are women.
Yeah.
So it's like the whole boy band analogy. All right. And even more legal news, this Blac Chyna versus the Kardashians trial has also been sucking up a lot of oxygen and keeping people entertained. I wish that there was a camera in that courtroom to see all their frozen faces and just to hear everything from their mouths. The fascinating thing is, as I mentioned last week when talking about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, they both have so much money. Obviously, he has more money than Amber Heard, but Amber Heard still has starred in some big movies, superhero films, multiple superhero movies. So those are multi-million-dollar paychecks and residuals and all of that. The Kardashians, maybe even more money than Johnny Depp. Kim Kardashian's a billionaire.
I don't buy that for a second, but okay.
Blac Chyna, though,
no,
nowhere near a billionaire. What I'm trying to get at is Blac Chyna cannot afford Kardashian-like lawyers. The Kardashian Jenners can get the best lawyers that money can buy, whereas Blac Chyna, because she can't, has been fumbling this case left and right, and I think might end up leaving this proceeding with even more legal dramas and just hurting her life and career even more. For example, she's now made it a big issue that she has not paid her taxes in years.
Wow.
And she
may end up in jail for that. They throw you in jail for that.
Yeah. And she blamed...
The government does not screw around with that.
Yeah. She blamed her former manager / lawyer saying it's his fault.
Yeah, okay. It's not. It's your fault. Taxes come down to your name. Okay. They won't throw your representative in jail. They will throw you in jail for tax evasion. Okay. That's how that works. You're responsible.
And the reason that money is a relevant issue in this case is because she's suing for lost revenue and for money and damages and all of that stuff. And then, just rehashing the fights and all of the real unsavory, nasty drama that was similar to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. That one instance where Blac Chyna threatened Rob Kardashian, her baby daddy, with a gun. Going back to what I said about not having good lawyers, a good lawyer, when you're going to take the stand, they will prep you. Sure. They will tell you what to say and what not to say. Or, hello, I've had to go to court a few times. I don't recall that. That's the iconic saying. Yeah. I have no recollection of that. So you're not denying it or confirming it. You're just saying, well, I don't recall. I don't remember, perhaps. But
she doesn't seem bright enough even to, and we may be making the assumption that the lawyers aren't telling her to say this stuff. And she just is too passionate. And, people are usually their own worst enemy. When they're attacked, they go into attack mode, and that usually involves them running their fucking mouth. And I'm sure that's the case. I'll be honest with you.
But with the gun issue, that's something that I would think somebody that didn't even graduate high school could remember what their lawyer told them, because her response to threatening Rob Kardashian with a gun was that she was just joking. That's not funny.
Well, I don't think any court's going to find that to be funny either. But look, does she come off as the brightest individual in the world? No, she doesn't. So that is it shocking?
But I would say she's not dumb. I mean,
I'm not saying she's dumb. I have no idea. I'm just telling you, she doesn't come off as extremely bright. That's it.
She's hot-headed, which is her problem. But
that's everybody's problem. Yeah.
But I would say she's actually very cunning. I mean, she worked it, and she got a lot coming from a dysfunctional upbringing. We all know, a lot of us know her mother, Tokyo Toni, and and
you never know how this plays out, because sometimes this is infamy, sometimes it turns into something else. That's how society, pop culture society, that's how. There's a lot of times you get rewarded for this crap.
Yes and no. I mean, look at O.J. Simpson. He's truly been blacklisted.
Okay, well, he's still playing golf at country clubs every day. Okay, let's calm down on that too. Every time they interview OJ, he's at the fucking the 19th hole having a fucking drink, being interviewed in his golf clothes. Okay, I don't think he's having that bad of a life. All right, for a guy that I mean, I wasn't there, but I kind of think he killed Nicole Brown and Cato and whatever. Not Cato, the other one. I think he did. So. This is different. No one died here. But to that point, I just said, I guess I would say, just explore the possibility that you can turn this into something else.
I mean, they did bring up her OnlyFans in the trial. So maybe this will be good for her OnlyFans.
And you're right. Maybe this is good for business. Maybe she's hot and there's people out there like, I want to beat off to her and, and do that because of this. I don't fucking know.
But the Kardashian Jenner's lawyer has done a really good job of establishing a history and a pattern of violent behavior from Blac Chyna, testifying that there was violent behavior. You know, Kylie Jenner did violent behavior with Tyga because Kylie used to date Tyga. Kris Jenner saying she truly thought Blac Chyna was going to murder her son, and painting this real picture that it was the relationship that was the cause of their reality show not moving forward because it was so toxic that you couldn't film a reality show with two people that hated each other that much.
It was I mean, you look for that in a reality show, but when it goes that far, you're like, wait, we can't do anything with this. This is irresponsible at this point to continue feeding this behavior. And that's, I'm sure, part of what happened.
In more Kardashian Jenner news, I will put it out there as a little bit of a red flag, but nothing major, just to keep an eye on it. A story was planted, I'm assuming, by those close to Pete Davidson, warning him not to appear on Keeping Up with the Kardashians because they don't think that'll be good for him or his career and blah, 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 blah. So I wonder if that's the first sign of, quote, trouble in paradise.
Well, can I ask you, is there any buzz around the new show? Like, are people watching? Are people talking about it? Or is it just kind of where it was before?
No. People are talking about it. I mean, there was a big trending moment, which I didn't even care enough about it to talk about on our show this week. But there was a big trending moment about how Kris Jenner was rude to the car driver, screamed at him.
Sounds like some real highbrow entertainment stuff.
But that was trending and a lot of people were talking about it. So
okay, that's I guess my question. Yeah. I'm just asking if people care. I don't know.
I would say the show has heat.
Okay.
It
moderate.
It's not like Selling Sunset. That show's out of nowhere and is like so talked about.
Yeah, but it's constantly on in my house.
It is?
Yeah, she loves that show.
Why?
I don't know. I've watched it a couple of times too. I mean, any of those like flip shows or real estate shows, when you have that and then you've introduced drama in it, you got two things that work. So I understand it. And I'll look up and say,
what's time on the real estate? I thought it was mainly the drama stuff.
Yeah, I think this is my assumption that that's what's happening. I don't spend enough time with it myself to know, but I do believe real estate must be some element of it. It's called Selling Sunset, right? Yeah. I mean, they're realtors.
I haven't watched it. Well, despite that report, Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian spent a lot of time together recently all over the United States. They were spotted at an event in Washington, D.C. Then they took a trip down to Orlando, Florida, and making it work, spending time together. Good on them. So I am honestly surprised that this hostile takeover attempt by Elon Musk has worked. I thought it was just bravado and shit talking and attention seeking, but he did it. I mean, he is the richest person on the planet.
Yes, so it doesn't shock me. If he wants it, he can get it.
Yeah. But it's crazy how so many people are upset by this. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, I guess it is because Twitter is an impactful social media platform. So he does have the ability to truly impact culture. Yeah. I mean, if he wanted to, Elon Musk, as owner of Twitter, because he's going to make it private, meaning he will not be beholden to any shareholders. He could truly do whatever he wants. Mm-hmm. He could let Donald Trump join Twitter again. And that possibility has upset a lot of people. I'm not upset about it. I'm just a little sad because the last year and a half without Donald Trump on Twitter have been so peaceful. The minute he gets back on there, I feel like it's not going to be as peaceful.
Yeah. I think the world should be fearful of yet another singular person owning so much say in the content that's pushed out. It's scary because they can and do control the narrative. It's, to me, it's like this. It's like, hey, look over here, right? And you're like, what is this doing? And that's what I think happens in society a lot and in politics a lot. And Trump's really good at, hey, look over here. I'll say something wacky while he's dumping shit in your water over here, and we're not concentrating on the right things. It controls the masses. It controls the stupid. And you really have to be a little cognizant of it and worry. So, I mean, in that sense, I guess I worry. But at the end of the day, I from what I just said, I understand what's going on behind the curtain, and I understand what I'm being fed to me every day. Back to your point earlier, it's like when you get older, you see things for what they are. And between your 40s and 50s, it really starts to happen. You really start to look around and go, wow, I fucking was not paying attention to what's really happening. And, then you get to a point where you crack and go crazy, and then you start following like a Trump type because everything's chaos and everything's nutty. And, you do lose it at some point as well, but I haven't quite lost it yet. I'm still in the enlightenment stage of trying to figure what's going on behind the curtain.
I don't think I'm going to ever lose it.
You're already a whack shop.
Well, exactly. But I do understand why a lot of people are very upset about this, because Elon Musk actually, though now he is championing himself as this free speech advocate, history has shown at the places that he's been boss that that's not the case. He has retaliated. He's been anti-union. His companies have a history of racism. A bunch, like 100 Tesla Black employees complained or filed a lawsuit or something. And according to reports, his response to these Black Tesla workers was grow a thicker skin. What? So
I don't necessarily disagree with that.
Oh God.
I don't. I mean, well, the world is. No, I'm just saying.
Don't stick your foot.
I'm not going to stick my foot in my mouth. I'm just saying the world is full of soft people, and sometimes we've become so triggered by every single thing that sometimes we need to grow a pair. How many times have I said grow a pair on this show?
Listen,
that's all.
I understand your sentiment, but I think you should probably not have expressed that after I was talking about 100 Black employees.
I don't know their situation, and I'm speaking on society in general.
Okay, but the fact that you said your spiel right after that, a lot of people can misinterpret it.
Don't misinterpret it. I'm talking about society in general. You are indeed correct. There, do you feel better?
All right. So let's move on.
Yeah.
Another group of people that I upset was Lizzo fans.
What did you do?
So if you missed it, Lizzo was the surprise guest that Harry Styles brought out Friday night for his second appearance at Coachella. And I said that I was disappointed and called it a downgrade. And that triggered people. The reason I said that, though, is because Lizzo has had success for a couple of years.
Shania Twain, essentially.
Shania Twain, who was his surprise guest,
is one of the most
successful
celebrated artists in history. It's undeniable. She's at the mountaintop of women performers. It's like there's Taylor, Shania, Beyonce. She literally sits at the top. Lizzo, sorry.
And I like Lizzo.
She may be on her way up, but she's not the top.
She's not an icon. She could be iconic. I would say Lizzo is iconic. She represents something for a lot of people, and she broke boundaries, and she's really cool. But to me, there's a difference between iconic and an icon, and Lizzo's not quite icon status yet. Plus, it felt like a downgrade and a disappointment because they've performed together before, and Shania and Harry was so unexpected, and they've never performed together before. It felt really special.
Yeah.
So that upset me. Plus also, like, I Will Survive. Like, who cares? That was a karaoke moment. Like,
I mean, the moment of weekend two, honestly, was Haley Williams joining.
I know. I was going
Billie
to talk
Eilish.
about that later, but
That's a moment.
That was really cool, especially because Haley Williams had said in the past that she was retiring Misery Business and wasn't going to perform it anymore because it was allegedly slut shaming or could be perceived as such. And that just was executed so well. Even though it was like an acoustic version, it still had so much energy and was so rad and so cool. And I loved it. So that was awesome. But back to Lizzo, last week we spoke about how I enjoy her new single About That Time, but I was surprised at the poor streaming numbers of it.
Yeah.
The song debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 at number 50.
Mm-hmm. I still believe it's a hit, for the record.
But that just shows she does not have a solid fan base.
That is a good point. Because a solid fan base will stream your crap and it's, to me, there is a difference.
I think it's a hit too. Okay.
Yeah, right. It's sometimes a song just takes longer because they don't have a solid fan base, because these armies of fans can drive things up, singles to a top of a chart that only affect a fan base. They don't make it out to Gen Pop, to regular people. And when you hear it, you're like, this is awful. And this is an actual good song that it just may take a while because, to your point, she doesn't have that monster fan base behind her, but it's a good song.
Like I said last week, though, only if radio supports it in a major way.
It is. I feel like I'm hearing it a lot on the pop stations. So,
all right. And even more Lizzo news, and I would say this is a crapshoot, as the expression goes. It's 50-50. She announced a headlining tour in arenas.
Bad.
With a lot of dates. It's not just like 3 or 4 cities. It's a big arena tour.
Maybe it'll work out. You know,
like I said, 50-50.
There are artists like Khalid. You know, Khalid was doing big like Staples Center type shows, or crypto.com, whatever they're calling it now. He was doing these big things and people were coming, and I didn't see that. So she may as well. But
there's no way he could do it now.
No way. But if I'm her, I don't. I just try
I'm going to give you a perfect,
keep it smaller.
I'm going to give you the perfect, not analogy, but the perfect comparison. There we go. Lil Nas X also just announced a tour, a very limited number of dates, and only playing theaters.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. And he could probably do bigger rooms. Yeah.
He could do arenas, I would think.
That seems smart to me. That's longevity. Smart. But he is a smart guy. He
very
really
savvy. He
has played this. I think it's because he's an artist that truly understands the internet side of the world even better than the labels or anybody that's even on his team. I think he knows who his fan base is, and he knows how to navigate through it. That just, to me, shows how savvy he is.
Absolutely. You know, what he's doing is hopefully ensuring sellouts, creating hype and demand, and then using all of the people that go to promote his show and share clips across social media. Like, look what you missed out on that you couldn't get a ticket to. And then coming back in 5 or 6 months or whatever and doing the arenas.
Right.
So good on him. All right. In more music related news, this surprised me. This is just a little tidbit, nothing to dive deep in, a couple of little tidbit moments. Bad Bunny, arguably one of the top 10 artists right now in music.
Currently, yeah.
Like, I think last year or the year before, he was the most streamed artist.
He was.
Yeah,
you're right. Year before last, I believe.
Bad Bunny is going to be acting in a movie, and not just that, a major movie. He's going to be in a Marvel film starring as El Muerto, which I don't even know that character. Or
that's a Spider-Man spinoff, apparently.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I don't either. I wish I knew more about that universe, but it's big. I know that's a big.
The Sony ones are hit or miss. It's not like the Marvel Disney ones.
Okay, I'm just meaning it's a big look.
It's a big look, yes. Yeah. But like Morbius just came out. It's part of the Spider-Man universe, and that kind of underwhelmed at the box office with Jared Leto. So there's no sure thing, but it's still a big look and very cool. And this week right now it's CinemaCon in Vegas, so we're hearing all this movie news, and it was just announced that the upcoming Wicked movie starring Ariana Grande is going to be split in two. I'm just going to call that what it is, a cash grab. There's no fucking need for Wicked to be split into two films.
There is not.
And that just upsets me. I hate cliffhangers, or I hate movies that do not feel like it's a full experience.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Yeah.
I would rather one long, classic, iconic film than these 2-part money grab bullshit. So that's lame as fuck.
That's kind of a gamble too. I that to me, should finish in one sitting. I mean, they can finish it on Broadway. Well, actually, it is 2 parts because there is an intermission. Maybe we're looking at it that way.
But the Broadway film is 2.5 hours. The Broadway show is 2.5 hours with the intermission.
Yeah,
even if they take out the intermission and add 30 minutes, if you have a 3-hour runtime, you should still be able to do the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
Whatevs. That just really
that's whatevs to me. I love Wicked. I probably seen. Yeah, I bet you I've seen it 5-6 times. I love Wicked.
All right. Speaking of Broadway musicals, I'm just mentioning this because it's just wild. There is a new revival of Funny Girl on Broadway, the show that made Barbra Streisand a star. We talked about Barbra Streisand earlier today, actually. And Beanie Feldstein, I'm not sure how you pronounce her name, Jonah Hill's sister, is the star of it. And I'm not sad for her, actually. I'm happy for her because she's getting to star in a Broadway musical as Funny Girl. But I'm sort of upset at the casting or producers who put her in this role that she cannot sing. All of the reviews have been brutal, have murdered her because she doesn't have the voice to carry these songs. And there are people that could have done it and carried it. And
well, I have a question. Let me ask you a question. So Funny Girl revival,
the first time it's ever been back on Broadway.
So I get that. Okay, that was my question. I mean, I guess we're talking about it, but we're only talking about it because it's bad. Yeah. See, I was wondering if there was one between, but there wasn't.
The first time in 60 years. Although it's kind of like one of those reverse psychology things. Like the reviews are so bad that I kind of want to see it just to see for myself how bad it is.
Yeah.
But like to wrap it up, what I said a minute ago, if I got offered the lead in a Broadway musical, and I can't sing it, I'm going to take it because I love Broadway and I want to be the lead in a Broadway musical.
I could see you in Grease with that mustache and this hair right now. Right?
Oh my God.
You could be Danny, not Danny. You could be, what's his best friend?
I'm Rizzo. I'm Rizzo.
You're not fucking Rizzo.
I'm Rizzo.
No, you're not.
I had this idea one day. Honestly, yesterday I was talking to my therapist and I had the best therapy session, 35 minutes in, all just great positive stuff. And then 35 minutes in, I go back and I would love more money. It's like, I'm happy. And I know that only I can make myself happy, but a lot more money would really help. And I fantasize about having that Kardashian Jenner money. One of the things oh yeah, because there's so much that I still want to do in my life. If I had Kardashian Jenner money, I've already had this idea. One of the things that I want to do is put on a gender reversed version of Grease, where the girls are played by guys in drag and the guys are played by women in drag. And I'm Rizzo. Like, I've thought about it before. I will be Rizzo.
I can see, listen, I'm with your idea until I start thinking of Olivia Newton-John in those pants. I don't want to know that someone's someone's
You
not
don't
wearing
see
those
it.
pants the
You
right
don't
way.
see it. Have you not watched RuPaul's Drag Race? Come on.
That's true.
Anyways, let's keep it moving. Oh my God. You remember what I said about the Oscars controversy? I was like, that story is far from over. There's just a pin in it. And the story has new legs yet again for multiple reasons. First, Chris Rock's mother gave an interview with a local TV station where she lives. And first of all, why? Secondly,
she's old, and she's old, and she didn't know, and I guarantee you that's it, and it's forgivable.
Well, so that my first question was why, and then you answered. And the second question, why now? Why not 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago?
They may have been camping out all of this time to get that moment. And
well, no. Chris Rock's mom went to the station.
Oh my
she
God,
sat
really?
in the studio for the interview. So,
no, I wonder if Chris even knew. Like, I wonder if it's
you
like,
can't control your parents.
You can't,
your parents
right? You couldn't if you wanted
Meghan
to.
Markle's father. Hello. But what was really interesting, and the reason I'm bringing it up, I think this is truly newsworthy. Chris Rock's mother alleges that even though Will Smith apologized to Chris Rock, that Will Smith never reached out to personally apologize to Chris Rock by email, text, call, or in person. He just released that statement of apology. Do you think that is adequate? Should Will Smith have personally reached out to Chris Rock?
100%.
I agree.
I can't even see the other side of this. That's a personal attack. And but that tells me he doesn't feel that he should apologize. And
it goes back
that's
to
a problem.
very being on brand for Will Smith.
Yeah, I'm telling you, and you said to me that you didn't think this could affect his box office. I think the guy is close to toast because I don't think a lot of people, there is no possible way I don't care who he's playing. I just don't see me going. I can't suspend disbelief, but I can't.
Johnny Depp still has a huge fan base.
I didn't see any of the stuff other than Johnny Depp slamming some cupboards or whatever. I didn't see him lay a hand on somebody. I didn't see any of it. I saw that. You know what I always say? I need to see it. I need to say, okay, I got to see it with my own eyes. I saw that with my own eyes. So it's going to be hard for me to suspend disbelief for 2 hours with him, but he's a great actor. So maybe I can, and other actors have proven that they can, but it's going to be some time. And I mean like 5 years sometime, maybe. I believe.
I do think, going back to people that are smart, Will Smith is smart, and he's gonna he's also so rich that he could finance his own movie.
Sure.
He doesn't need producers. He could finance and distribute his own film.
Probably, yeah.
When he comes back, and he will, he's gonna choose a people-pleasing project.
See, I don't know. I think he may go indie and small. There is two ways to do that. Like indie and small, a really beefy, juicy, like
he needs
but
to
you're
reach
right. He
the
just
masses.
didn't. Now I'm thinking about it. After coming off of the Serena Williams film, he needs to be Men in Black 17, whatever we're up to, but it needs to be
Men in Black or not
Independence Day. He's going back.
Yeah, but not one of the things he's already done, like a new one. Or actually what he needs is that one with Martin Lawrence, the Bad Boys. He'll do another Bad Boys movie.
Yeah.
And be meta and have Chris Rock in the movie and play up on what happened. So Chris Rock is going to be in Bad Boys, the next installment. You heard it here first. Oh my God. All right. In other news, Will Smith has left the country and is in India working on his spiritual practice.
Good for him.
Just wanted to share that. Speaking of this Oscars story having more legs now, Red Table Talk is back with Jada Pinkett Smith. And in the first episode, they put up a statement from Jada Pinkett Smith saying, quote, considering all that has happened in the last few weeks, the Smith family has been focusing on deep healing. Some of the discoveries around our healing will be shared at the table when the time calls. Until then, the table will continue offering itself to powerful, inspiring, and healing testimonies like that of our incredibly impressive first guest. Thanks for joining us, Jada. You want to know what's interesting to me? I truly love Red Table Talk, and I would watch almost all of the episodes. I now have zero interest in watching, especially because, going back to that word fumbling, she fumbled this. I think they needed to lead with what happened. It's like you have to address it before moving forward.
I couldn't disagree with you more. I think when you attach commerce to this, it just even rings more shallow and hollow to me. I don't want to see them gaining traction because we need to have closure with this. I think that's a bad move.
Well, that's your opinion.
Okay, how about this? I think believe it or not, I think her career and her place
trajectory,
right, is going the wrong direction. His has the possibility because he is the star. She was never the star. She isn't the star. And I don't think this is going to help take her to the next level. I just don't. I don't think there was a lot there to begin with. That's just me.
Well, there's a lot of people that love Jada. Although a lot of people don't. She's very polarizing. All right. In wacky news, we're on to our wacky news segment. Sharon Osbourne reveals that after her not amicable parting from the talk, that she underwent ketamine therapy. Listen, whatever makes you happy, great. But I'm going to express my opinion. And thankfully, I can express it on the podcast without fear of being like on Instagram and Facebook. I shared the same thing and I got taken down for hate speech.
Well, this is our platform. You can say whatever the fuck you want here. People are welcome not to listen if they don't like it.
Yeah. There was a story that the Today Show ran about how it's 6 times more likely, or some, I might have the wrong statistic, but it's like 6 times more likely for a man to leave a wife or partner after they get sick with a really awful diagnosis, and that women are 6 times less likely to do that to their husband. So I shared that and I captioned it, well, yeah, because men suck, duh. And that was considered hate speech.
I don't know. That's a bit
I know.
much.
Anyways, I can say, I think that Sharon on our show, I could say, I think that Sharon Osbourne taking ketamine to deal with getting fired from the talk is stupid. I'm not saying she's stupid, but I think it's stupid.
Yeah.
Just like, do you remember Jordan Sparks from American Idol? She won. She just was proudly boasting about going on a 3-month fruit cleanse / detox. And part of that was a 14-day water cleanse. That's stupid as fuck. Okay. You don't need to be doing that to be healthy, in my opinion. And I'm not a doctor. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure that's not.
I can't disagree with you much there.
Healthy.
I mean, even if you're on a fruit cleanse, that's a lot of sugar. There's a lot of sugar in fruit.
And 3 months?
3 months. And then just the water that
14 days of a water cleanse.
That's not good for you.
But anyways, back to Sharon Osbourne. It's like a new trend, like the K therapy and all the people that do MDMA therapy as well. I think that
the world has gone mad.
That shit's dangerous. Okay.
It sure is. Yeah.
Like, are you going to have doctors start to do wine therapy? Like,
I've been doing that therapy for years.
I think that's all
doesn't fucking work.
I think that is all dangerous.
Yeah.
When you start to associate healing with substances.
There's a whack job out there for everything. Okay. There's someone out there that is willing to tell you that things are okay. and take your money. Okay. They're out there. And if you're not smart enough to see them coming, I feel badly for you. That's insanity. This whole diet that you just explained, that is insanity. And I feel badly for people that they're so gullible.
Well, speaking of whack jobs, we have not talked about her in a while.
It's Madonna.
Madonna keeps showing her cooch.
She does?
Oh yeah. I mean, like she was wearing panties, but it was like just so gratuitous and unnecessary.
Is that what you sent me? You sent me something.
I think, or I've sent you like a few, and it's like Madonna.
It's so cringy. It's just,
it's on purpose. She's clearly doing it for attention, but it's weird because you're Madonna and you don't need to stoop to that level. That's something that Perez Hilton does, not Madonna.
Right.
Are you on the same level as Perez Hilton? Come on.
This is the greatest rap you've ever had because it's true.
Even Kim Kardashian has evolved. There was a point in time where her go-to used to be to always post a nude photo to get attention.
Right.
And she's kind of stopped that because she doesn't need to do it.
Okay. I'm going to put a big time out on that. She's also still a young person. And I could totally see a world where she doesn't have attention because whatever platforms don't exist and the tides have changed, and she turns into Madonna because this is her medicine. It's her serotonin or whatever that hit is of whatever you need.
But
that's my little asterisk next to that.
Yeah, but you can't compare Kim Kardashian and Madonna. Okay.
Well, you did. I was just saying she's still a young person. That's what I was talking about. We don't know what that looks like down the line. Listen, I have a hunch we haven't seen the last of her cooch. That's all I'm saying.
Probably not. Speaking of Madonna, she and her boyfriend of a few years have broken up. So she is single and ready to mingle, y'all. Slide into her DMs. She's horny. In more relationship news, another breakup. Shailene Woodley and Aaron Rodgers were trying to make it work after initially breaking up earlier this year. They were engaged, but unfortunately, they were not able to last, and their differences were just too big, so they're done.
Wow.
For good. All right, more wacky news. Viola Davis has been starring as Michelle Obama in this Showtime show, The First Lady. Have you seen it?
I haven't. But I love Viola Davis. She's a great actor.
But a lot of people have not loved her take on Michelle Obama, and critics also have not been kind. And she just spoke out saying critics absolutely serve no purpose. And I will have to disagree with her, because the purpose that critics serve is the same purpose that actors serve, to entertain. I read a review or watch a review to be entertained, and I take it all with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
You know, if there's a good reviewer or either in print or video, I want to watch it.
It goes back to trust. If you took it to this show, there are people that trust my taste when it comes to television shows and such, because I've earned it with them.
They said, tasty.
Yeah, so tasty. But Booker said that's a good show, and they went and watched it, and they watched a couple of shows that I like, and they're like, oh, we have the same sort of taste. And that's what a reviewer does. Now, she's just talking about the random person that just doesn't, have so much of a following. I'm with her, that hasn't earned the respect of that reader. I'm sort of with her. It's a lot of clickbait and a lot of people looking for attention.
I'm still watching American Idol every single week. I love it. I love it. There's my favorite if anybody who might be watching is listening or watching us. What are your favorites? Well, don't call because people probably don't care, but I'll share my favorite. Fritz. There's this guy named Fritz who, the reason he's my favorite is every time he performs, it feels special.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else can even compete, I think. So that's amazing.
Fritz
All right.
for the win. All right.
Fritz
That's
for the
good.
win.
By the way, speaking of shows, one of our listeners turned me on to the Apple TV show, the one that's produced by Ben Stiller. I want to find this listener and I want
What's
to
it
shake her
called?
to death. I don't know. I fucking hate it. I'm like
Oh,
two
what?
in and it better get good.
Oh,
People are
no.
telling me it gets good, but it is so fucking weird so far. It's weird. And people know what I'm talking about. The one with Ben Stiller where he produces it, whatever it's called.
I like weird.
It's weird, dude. It's like I can tell it's probably going to go somewhere and I'll probably change my opinion, but right now I'm just angry at it.
All right. Well, speaking of weird, we're still in the weird segment. The Cash Me Outside girl, the Dr. Phil phenomenon, Danielle Bregoli, aka Bad Baby, shared a video of her OnlyFans metrics to prove that she wasn't photoshopping anything. And this video, I'm still going to say alleged because I cannot wrap my brain around it. This video shows that Bad Baby Danielle Bregoli, Cash Me Outside, has made on OnlyFans over, have you heard this?
I have.
It almost can't even come out of me. Allegedly has made over $52 million.
Yeah.
That's my price. Okay. I would never do porn, but if you gave me a $52 million check, I will do whatever on camera for $52 million.
No one wants to see it. But to that point,
is that your price? Would you do it? Would you do porn for $52 million?
Once again, no one would want to see that. But yes, I would.
Answer my question.
100%. I would take that check, but you never see me again. I'd own some ranch in fucking Idaho or something, and you'd never hear. There'd be no special podcast edition. You would see my innards once on video, and that'd be the last time you ever saw me. It'd be like if I won the lottery. You'll never hear from me again, ever. So people are like, well, I would buy an entertainment. Nope. I would fucking buy a horse and a ranch. And
it's really fascinating to me. I would if I didn't have children and if I was a gay man who just knew I don't want kids, I would really be open to doing OnlyFans. But I have children and I don't want my children to do that.
But isn't most of hers non-nudity? I thought it was.
I don't know. I'm not signed up for her OnlyFans.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, there's an audience for everything, just not the show, apparently. But it's absolutely insane to me that Blac Chyna has a following. So that any of these reality people that we talk about, they just seem to offer nothing to the world. And yet some of these people somehow get traction and get a check. And, she just bought like a $5 million house in cash or 6 million, whatever the bad Barbie bunny, whatever the fuck her name is. Yeah. So it shocks me, but that's what makes this show fun for me, because I'm always truly fascinated by some of these nitwits that stumble in money. And I always wonder if it's like there's just a big Hollywood puppeteer somewhere making some things happen that aren't even really real, and they're like, let's get this girl from Dr. Phil and let's make her rich just to see what happens. There's the movie Trading Places.
But I'm happy for her. I just want to state that.
Yeah, but there's a movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy. It's an old movie where these two old white guys decide that they're going to take this guy who's essentially homeless and they're going to make him rich. And he, of course, plays them. But the whole premise of just the old white man saying, let's anoint this person and let's make it happen. There's something there. There's something going on where
I wish
it's
that
so
would happen
fucking
to
random
us.
Because there's no talent attached to most of these people, and that I can see anyhow. But once again, talent's arbitrary too. I mean, fuck, people might think we're talented. Then again, people may just think we're two dopes talking into a microphone. So fuck, I don't know anymore.
Think that about you. That listen and watch.
Yeah,
so,
sure.
All right. In more wacky news, there was that Mike Tyson incident on an airplane. My very quick take on that: he assaulted this fellow passenger that was belligerent. I get that. I do not think that Mike Tyson should have responded with fists. He should have let the flight attendants kick that guy off the plane, I think.
Yeah. Well, he should have, but here's my little take on it. I am so fed up with any buffoonery on a plane that if you get your ass kicked in front of a flight full of people for acting a fool while you're in that tube, so fucking be it. And that should be martial law, the fucking law of the land. Don't fuck around in that tube. I don't care if it's in the air, not in the air. Mind your fucking P's and Q's when you're in that tube. And if you don't, a Mike Tyson type should beat your fucking ass in front of everybody. So that's my take. It's a little different than yours. I understand.
There are just, and you know this, I don't think a lot of these idiots intend for this shit to happen.
You're right.
They just get so drunk. So many people have drinking issues in this country.
That's a good point. Yeah. And drug issues. Same thing.
And drug issues. Yeah. Oh my God. I saw this one viral video of this dude who was out of it. Did you see this one? This dude on a plane who was out of it and started smoking a cigarette at his seat.
And then I had a friend, I think I told this story before. I had a friend that, what's the sleeping pill?
Ambien.
Ambien. Took an Ambien on a flight, stood up, took his pants off and walked to the.
Oh no.
We've actually talked. Oh, fuck it. I'll just say who it is because it was in the paper. We talked about him because he was in that show. He's the guy that ran Nobu in New York. It's my buddy Richie.
Oh, okay.
And he was in Page 6 because he did it. And I asked him, he's like, yeah, I did. He goes, I took an Ambien for a flight. I had no idea anything weird was going to happen. He took his fucking pants off and walked to the back of the plane. I think he got arrested or cited or something.
He probably took an Ambien and was drinking. Okay.
Well, yeah. And I think that was a thing for such a long time, to your point, that a lot of people were like, hey, let's take an Ambien with a wine because it will knock you the hell out. But
all right.
Yeah. But still, to my point, I think that you should have a responsibility not to get wrecked before you get on that tube.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I'll say to that.
But people
I'm all
aren't
for
that
ass whoopings on the tube. In the tube, I'm for ass whoopings.
People aren't that responsible. All right. Speaking of being arrested, this happened literally right after we were recording our podcast last week. Rihanna's baby daddy, A$AP Rocky, was arrested at LAX in connection with gun violence and him allegedly shooting at some dude and yada, yada, yada. According to reports, Rihanna is not pleased.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either.
She is standing by her man. A few days after his arrest, the two of them were spotted having dinner together at her favorite spot, Giorgio Baldi, the Italian restaurant in Santa Monica.
Sweet.
Also, speaking of men behaving badly, Bill Murray has been fired from a movie for, quote, inappropriate behavior. He's had a lot of allegations of inappropriate behavior over the decades. Actors that have gone on the record, like Lucy Liu, directors that have gone on the record saying that they got into physical fights, and this guy still gets work because it goes back to one of the things I've said over and over and over again. The A-list rule. When you are an A-lister, you can get away with so much.
It's hard to take an A-lister down. I mean, even if you think of like someone like Ellen, they've done takedowns of her. She's going out on her own terms. She's doing her final season. She's not canceled. It's really hard when people love you. When you're beloved, it's hard to take a person down because a lot of it's not believable anyhow.
Yeah, that's why I'm still here. All right. Very briefly, Scott Disick was spotted chatting up Larsa Pippen, Kim Kardashian's former friend, in Miami. They were having a 3-hour convo, just the two of them. A lot of people think there might be something there.
Yeah, I'm sure those two idiots were talking about physics or something like that.
Also, former Real Housewives of Atlanta star Nene Leakes has sued Bravo and Andy Cohen after she was not fired from the show, but they didn't,
renew her contract. She's pissed about it. Blah, blah, blah. The same old story. These people think that they're owed time on any of these shows.
She's claiming racism, and she says that the defendant's actions violate federal employment and anti-discrimination law, and it seeks monetary damages.
This isn't Walmart. It's fucking Hollywood. If people want to get rid of you because they just don't think that you're fucking hip anymore, that's what happens. That's this fucking town. I mean, welcome to the show.
Let's take some calls.
Perez, Booker, Laura in Nashville. Going to keep it short.
Oh,
I'm just
you like
listening to you
that?
guys talk about the Johnny Depp trial, and I can't believe y'all aren't more conscious, or I don't know, of what's going on. Like, I'm not a big fan of his.
Well, keep in mind, our conversation was one day after only one day of testimony. We didn't have all of these gems coming at us when we did the podcast. There was one day of testimony, which was kind of innocuous the first day.
I think it might have been more than one day.
Well, we did our show last Wednesday. The court's hearing started Tuesday. So I think we only had one day of...
Did it?
Yeah. So these people are calling like yesterday saying, why aren't you covering this more? Because we talked about this last week. You're right. There was a lot more that came out that has been interesting, to say the least.
But this case is super interesting. It has nothing to do with money, everything to do with principle. She defamed him, accused him of horrible things, embarrassed him to his children, and that's what he's doing. That's why he's doing this. He just wants to prove to his children that he didn't beat his wife. And she is a scandalous, crazy hooker. If you listen to any of those audio tapes, if you watch any of this stuff unfold, you can see, I mean, I'm not saying he's got his flaws. Obviously, he likes to party and whatever, and that seems like something they had in common. But she targeted him by accounts of all of her friends. She's a lesbian and just wanted to use him. And
I love this passion. I don't understand it. God bless you for having it.
It goes back to what I said about the teen heartthrob thing.
Yeah. I'm buying that. She's saying he's trying to prove this for his name and his children. I'm saying he's not. He's coming off as a loon, and she's coming off as a loon. And you made the best point that's been said about any of this so far last week. And that is the only people that are making out here are the fucking lawyers. That's it. You guys can go back and forth and bitch at one another online and try to be Team Johnny and she's this and he's that and fucking pooped in the bed or whatever. What the fuck are they calling that? What is she? What is
she
it?
pooped in the bed.
No, yeah, but he called it a grumpy. Dropped a grumpy, whatever the fuck his term. Like, this is a nightmare. This is this is a waste of legal time. And people are bitching to me like, how do you say, fuck you? How do you not care? It's not that I don't care. It's a waste of fucking time. That's it. It is. You're taking court space up for these people's ego and their money. And you know what? A court will take it. They got to sit through all this shit. They've heard worse, I'm sure. It's not that I don't care. Trust me. It's not that I don't care. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. One more call here. Couple calls.
Hey, Booker. Hey, Perez.
Hey.
Love the show. Love you both. T from LA. I just wanted to call about Harry Styles. Okay, I'm obsessed with him, and I'm 44. But Perez and Booker, you guys are right. I've gone to his concert this year at the Forum. He didn't give me what I really wanted, what I thought he'd give me on stage. So he's just beautiful. We all have to agree his face is beautiful. And so I think that's why I cry when I see him, which is strange. Anyway.
Hold on. There were some other, and maybe we'll get to them here. I know we're going so long here. There were some Harry Styles fans that didn't agree with our take.
Hey guys. Hi, Perez. Hi, Booker. This is Sylvia from Boston. I just want to say real quick, I know there's a lot, like, people like the interviews, don't like the interviews. I actually didn't stick around and listen until a couple podcasts ago when you, Perez, interviewed Heather McDonald. I literally don't listen to podcasts. I just got into them like maybe 3 years ago. I listen to 2 podcasts. That's it, like on a regular basis. Your podcast and Juicy Scoop with Heather McDonald. So when I heard that you were going to have her interview her, I was like, oh my God, I was excited and it was great. And I know someone else said this, but you definitely need to go on Juicy Scoop. Her, like I say, your podcast and hers are the only 2 I listen to religiously, and you guys had a great chemistry together, and you definitely need to be on her.
Well, go ahead and give them that news if you want.
No,
Fuck them. I've already given it.
it's not
We're
a
trying to
guaranteed
get on the show.
thing. It's not a guaranteed.
It's not a
thing
guaranteed
yet.
thing, but her people and our people are definitely trying to coordinate to make that happen.
Oh, why did you spoil that?
Fuck it, because there it is. Well, look, it's not happening yet, but let's just say
happen now.
Well, it doesn't matter if it doesn't. We're trying. We're all trying. It's hard to get three people scheduled to work, but I've never agreed to be on anybody's show with you, and I think it's going to be kind of fun if it does happen. And a lot of people are big fans of hers, so
yes.
I'm interested to get in there to hear you two go back and forth and see if I can piss off her fan base too.
I just don't want you pretending like you need to be something else. Okay.
I'm not pretending anything. This is
I already could see what was going to happen. You're going to like purposely be like this heightened version of yourself to just annoy me.
You think that I would care enough to do that. I wouldn't. I just want to come in and be me and see how it plays with somebody else that's a gossip aficionado. Here we go.
Hey, Perez and Booker, Claire from Detroit again. I love your guys' show, blah, 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 the whole nine. Like, I love you guys. It's just like, anyways, I'm listening to Food Baby and it's great and all. And whatever. I don't feel any sort of way that Britt is pregnant, but Perez, you say women are healthier now than they used to be, and that's why you can have babies when you're older now, like in your 40s or whatever. I think that's what you're alluding to. It's like not the case. It's just, having the science to like freeze your eggs and all that, and, having the money to be able to afford certain things like that. And I'm not offended. I don't think anybody's offended. I just wanted to like point that out and make that clear. It's not about health. It's about science.
Well, listen, she was nice about it and we could get to it. There was a couple of calls that were really pissed at your.
I would say that's not true. I mean, Brittany's only 40. Like, yes, women that are 50, that's science, but Brittany's only 40. And I said what I said just because it's still considered a quote geriatric pregnancy.
Okay. She made her point. You made yours.
Hey, Perez. Hey, Booker. This is Jen from Washington State, longtime listener. I just have a rebuttal to a call on this most recent episode saying that Britney Spears shouldn't have a kid because she's mentally ill and because she's older. I'm sorry. Fuck that bullshit. I am 35 years old. I am pregnant and I am mentally ill. Just because I'm mentally ill does not mean I shouldn't have a child. People are being treated just because she's being vocal and we're like, oh, that's not normal Britney, doesn't mean that's not how she's really been and has been held back from being. Just wanted to put that out there. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. In response to another caller, I think the other caller, I don't know if she said you shouldn't. I think she just said that she was somewhat bothered or maybe even triggered. I'm borrowing other words. She didn't, I don't want to misquote her, but I don't think she said she shouldn't. So there's that.
I don't even remember.
Hey, Booker, this is Jen from Washington State.
Fuck, wrong call. Idiot. Hold on, one more here. Somebody's pissed at me about something. I want to play it.
Hey guys, this is Adrian calling from Seattle. I've been listening and reading for a million years, and this is the first time I've been compelled to really call in.
Oh, thank you.
The stuff you guys said about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, whoa. Are you guys not doing your research?
This is it.
Homework? These videos have been out for over a year. He's not attacking her in court. You guys, he lost $650 million from his managers. He lost his entire career. He was basically blackballed from Hollywood. He had to get his career back because he was lied about. He never harmed her. There's more than significant proof of that.
There's proof, Perez. You hear it? There's proof.
Wait. I just got to remind everybody, we haven't gotten a verdict yet. There is a great possibility that Johnny Depp might lose this case. Then what? I'm not saying he should or not. I'm just saying, like, what'll happen if that is the case, right? It goes back to what I said last week. He'll appeal it, and it's going to just be a forever thing.
Right. It's just going to go on and on and on. We got her point. That's
all right. Well, Thank you guys. Now for all the calls, call us if you also want to chime in on anything, 800-721-1185. Now we're going to move to my interview with Peppermint, who is a nightlife icon, been working in New York City for decades, is a TV star. Many of you know her from RuPaul's Drag Race, is also a trans activist, a Broadway vet, and has so much to share and discuss. So enjoy my chat with Peppermint. Well, thank you for being here. I'm just curious because Wikipedia does not know everything. And I want to see if I can get that information. But also, you might just tell me, Perez, that's private and that's fine.
Can I say that first?
Yes, you could say, listen, we're just having a kiki. So, as I mentioned in the intro, a lot of us know you from Drag Race, and you are openly proud a trans woman, and trans women, cis women can do drag as well. So my first question is Peppermint your drag name? And if so, do you have a different name on your driver's license?
Okay, that's not so bad. I do. Peppermint is my name. And so it's the name that I used for many, many years. I think, and I didn't do my research, but I believe that there's like some kind of law that if you use a name publicly for like 10 years and that's how people know you, then it's technically like a sort of legal name. You can like legally use it. And so people know me as Peppermint, and they have for more than 20 years as I've been doing the club scene in New York City for so long.
Well, does Peppermint have a last name publicly?
It used to be Peppermint Gummy Bear. That used to be my full name, my drag name.
Yeah.
And this was before Google. People were like, that name is just too childish. Girl, you got to get rid of that name.
Oh, I like Peppermint Gummy Bear.
Yeah, I like them. I mean, for me, it makes me think of candy. But then people were like, girl, that's not the sexy thing. And this was like 2000, the year like 1999, 2000. And so I got rid of the last name. I got a divorce and I got rid of the last name. And now it's just Peppermint, which is obviously more sophisticated. But honey, people can't find me on the internet.
That's kind of why I was asking. I was like, that's literally the main reason why I led with this, because I'm like, it's not very SEO friendly. If you want to if you want to get information on your music or whatever it is that you're doing, maybe it might be a good idea to bring back Gummy Bear. Just saying.
I know, right? Well,
or you can engage your fans and say, I want you all to give me a last name.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine?
That's something. You began your career in drag in New York City. Do you still live in New York?
I'm in New York City right now.
I love New York. I was there around the time you were beginning. I went to NYU and I was there from 96 through 2002. And I remember, those early years so fondly. Seeing everybody from like yourself, like everybody that used to perform at Barracuda back in the day, or at Bardot, all those ladies at Bardot. And then I got out of New York, but you're still there. What keeps you in New York City?
I think New York definitely has a vibration. It has a vibe. And I obviously travel a lot. I've been traveling for many, many years, and I've been so blessed to like go everywhere, see all types of places and meet all types of people. And I love that. I wouldn't give that up for anything. But I do, every single time I come back to New York, I feel that vibration. And the city seems to have its own sort of personality. The city itself seems to have something about it that that resonates with me whenever I come back. And that's how I know if I leave New York and come back after a certain time and I'm not feeling that vibration, then I know it's not for me anymore. And I just don't feel that vibration anywhere else. I love going to other places. I love being in other places, but I just don't feel that same type of energy.
Where did you grow up originally? Where were you raised?
Gal, but I was born in Pennsylvania.
So you don't mind the cold.
Oh no, I think we need it.
Oh
I'm a
no.
firm
Oh
believer that
no.
we must have balance in our lives.
I grew up in Miami, so we don't do
Okay,
cold.
I feel you.
So after many years working, you did Drag Race and you did very well on your season. Many people think you should have won, but you know what? Oftentimes, the ones who don't win end up winning, like in life. What was the hardest part of doing Drag Race?
You know, there's three things of Drag Race, I think, for me in my experience. The first one was everything that I sort of thought Drag Race was gonna be, my expectations, the sort of pressures that I was putting on myself, all of that stuff, which happened way before I even went. And a lot of those things did revolve around me and, like being out as a trans woman, which I already was, but there was this while I was
On the show,
packing
you were
for,
the first. Yeah.
yeah, while I was packing for the show, I was watching the show and watching, people on the show. And there was a huge sort of argument that was going on. I'm sure you'll remember in like
Yes.
2016, 2012, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Rue
that
did
couple of
not want
years.
any trans people on the show.
Yeah, there was a lot of conversation about, and it's specifically the word, because they used to use the word, which is now we know is derogatory,
Yeah,
shemale. You got
male.
shemale,
Yeah.
and that was a huge conversation taking place from Drag Race on down, and it just set the tone that it made me feel like people were divided, and I was like, oh no, this is not very good for a trans woman to go into, but I went anyway, and I said, if I go, I'll have the opportunity to really live my truth and have conversations. And so that was what my plan was. And then the next hardest part is like the actual competition of it. Like being there and you're in a you're doing a TV show and there's cameras and lights and people and it's just, very different than the experience of watching it at home. And
I've read or heard that a lot of the queens spend all this money for
mm,
looks. Was it really expensive for you to
it
prepare
was.
for the show?
Yeah, I mean, working in New York City, which I think is one of a good place to work if you are doing drag and you can earn decent money as opposed to maybe a smaller town that only has one bar or something. You know, we were only earning a couple of $100 at most per night. And these outfits and these jewelry and the hair can cost, $1,000 an outfit or a wig, and you have to bring 20 to 30 to 40
Wow.
wigs with you and
Hoping
outfits
that
and
you'll
things
make
with
it to
you.
the end.
Yeah, you might not. You might go
I
home on the first
know.
day and you still have to bring it. And
Yeah.
so it's 5 suitcases worth of stuff. And I think that they're probably going to up that because as the dresses get bigger and more elaborate, you need more room in the suitcase. And
Did
so
you
yeah, it's pretty
all
expensive.
did all of the contestants stay in the same place to like while filming
Yeah, we stayed in a hotel.
at the
We
same
stayed in
hotel?
all in the same hotel.
Now, since your appearance on Drag Race, there have been other trans contestants and even a trans man got Mick.
I know. God,
Do you think drag, well, I'm gonna guess, I would imagine I guess what you're thinking, but up until now, there haven't been no cis women on Drag Race. Is that something that you would like to see, that you think should happen? Because as I mentioned earlier, cis women do drag as well.
hell yes. I think there should be some cis women on the show. I think there should be. I believe that drag is for everyone. It's for everyone to enjoy. And if everyone's enjoying it, there's you can only see but so many drag shows before you're like, I think I want to try that. And I think drag is for everyone to participate in. So I want to see trans women, cis women, trans men, non-binary folks. I want to see everybody who is really a good drag entertainer and really can get turn looks and really give some a great performance and all of the things that we want to see out of entertainment and drag.
Yeah. Uh, One of the things that the show is known for now is not just its regular seasons, but the all-star seasons. There's like so many of those. You've not done an all-star season yet. Is that something that you're open to or against?
Yes.
Yes. Wait. Are you open to it or against it? Which one?
Yes. No, I am open to doing it. Of
You're
course,
not.
everything
This
would
is.
have to be right.
This is not a. Is there some tea that I don't know?
No, no, no,
Okay,
no. There's
because
not.
like
I mean, this is.
Willem infamously has some drama with the producers of the show. Are you on good terms with Rue and everybody there?
I would like to think I am. I mean, that's really a question for them because at this point, All Stars is one of those things that you have to be invited back, of course, and so they have to make the decision
And they
to
have not
ask you to
asked
do it.
you?
They have asked me.
Oh,
They have asked
okay.
about it years ago, and it was 2 weeks before I was going to be opening up on Broadway, and I had to ask myself, do I really want to throw this opportunity away, or do I want to, which great opportunity do I want to take? And I decided, obviously, to stay and do the Broadway show, which was for me a once in a lifetime thing.
Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But
Mhm.
first, I recently saw some Drag Race alums do a show together on tour. I saw Trixie and Katya. You've got music that you're releasing. Uh,
Mhm.
are you planning to tour with your music or a show, or are you on the road right now? Tell us
I
about that.
thought you would never ask. Of course, I am going to be going on the road in July. It's Letters Live is the name of the show. And yeah, I have this new music that's coming out, and you have to do a show with your music. Now, it's not drag. Like it's not it's the same person who has done drag, and so there's some drag sensibility in the show, but it is a live R&B show singing about love and heartbreak and a trans queer experience. And so people should be prepared to drunk text their exes after seeing my show. That's the show.
Now I heard the Broken Home song that
Ah,
just came out,
ah.
and like you mentioned, it's definitely R&B. What drew you to that genre? Like what inside of you said this is the kind of music that I want to make right now?
For the first songs I ever did were, I'm cute. Look at my hair. Look at my nails. That's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously, I like having hair and nails, but I just, I wanted the opportunity to really sing about my truth. And so many people who are influential in the media and especially in music hadn't yet, years ago when I was thinking through this, we didn't really have a lot of folks who were out, and especially not trans folks, singing and recording music, in just a straightforward way that wasn't very gimmicky. Um, and so I wanted to do that. I've always had a fantasy of being an R&B entertainer and performer, and this is my opportunity to do it.
And are tickets on Ticketmaster, or should people go to your website to make sure they can get tickets for the show? What's the best way?
Yeah, people need to go to peppermintonline.com to get tickets. The tickets are not on sale yet. They
Oh,
go on
okay.
sale next week.
Okay. And I'm sure you're going to be doing meet and greets as well.
There's a VIP package. There's meet and greets. I'm gonna have some merch. There's gonna be every opportunity. There might be an overnight option.
Hey, hello. So you mentioned Broadway. You were in the
Mhm.
Go-Go's musical Head Over Heels, which I did not get to see on Broadway, unfortunately. But I
Mhm.
saw it. They did it a few
In
months ago
LA,
in at the
Pasadena.
Pasadena,
Yeah.
and it was very different. I heard because they did it as an
Oh
immersive
yeah.
experience, which was cool. But
Mhm.
how long were you in the show for on Broadway?
The entire experience from start to finish was about a year.
Wow, that's a
We
time
we
commitment.
Oh, yes. And we that included like a run in California. We opened the show in San Francisco, and then we moved obviously over to New York to do Broadway. And it was a dream come true. It's the second most difficult thing I've ever had to do.
What was the
Um,
first?
RuPaul's Drag
Oh,
Race.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was the highlight of doing that for you? Was it like being on that stage or talking to people after the show every night, or what was the highlight for you?
Being on the stage was something that I've done it before. I've been on stage before, and I've been in small crowds, big crowds. And so I feel very at home on stage. Obviously, opening night, I was like, okay, is everything, there's like some nerves there, but that passes very quickly and you end up just really getting into the groove. I think the biggest highlight for me was it was a two-parter. Part one was, you know, getting to become a part of the Broadway family, which is a very close-knit community that looks out for each other and protects each other. And I don't just mean singers and dancers, but also stagehands and directors and choreographers. And it's just everyone. It's very incestuous, and
I
everyone.
love it. I love it. I love
And
that
the other,
community. Those are my people.
yeah, the theater community. And then the other part, of course, there was something really interesting about our show, Head Over Heels in particular, which I know you saw the Broadway version, the very original version that they did years ago at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival was 3 hours long. Ours was about an hour and a half, I think, a little over an hour and a half. There was an intermission. And so there was a lot of songs that you didn't get to see that weren't in the Pasadena version. But the a lot of the themes, it was definitely the queerest musical that I had ever been a part of or seen, because they talked not only about gay folks and all these different sexualities, but there was also different gender identities represented, body positivity. The casting was very non-traditional. Like there was just different racial makeups of the different couples and groups. And so it was just really rewarding to leave the theater and go out and see a young trans kid and their parent, or a trans parent with their child or whoever, talking about how this musical in particular really touched them. And that was a great experience. And so that was probably one of the biggest highlights.
And you're going to be doing more acting. You've got a film that comes out on Hulu later this summer with Margaret Cho and Bowen from Saturday Night Live. Yeah. What was that experience like? The movie's
so
called Fire
It's
Island.
called Fire Island. Yeah, it's called Fire Island, and it's about life in Fire Island.
Which I've never been to. I've got to go someday.
Have you never been to Fire Island?
I've never been to Provincetown either.
What is going on?
I know. I've been to Palm Springs. I know.
Probably similar, but different, if you know.
I think Fire Island's more fun because there's like a different culture, like tea, like the afternoon tea and tea parties.
It's a very queer-centric, family-friendly place, especially in the Grove. I think you might enjoy the Grove a little bit. It's two different neighborhoods, basically.
The Pines and the Grove.
The Pines and the Grove. You know all the lingo.
Yeah.
So it's the story is, well, the movie, it was so much fun to film. We filmed part of it in Fire Island and then part of it not in Fire Island. My scenes take place in the Ice Palace, which is a legendary bar and club that's in the Pines, or in the Grove, sorry. And they completely replicated it. When you walk in there, and I thought I was in the bar. You couldn't believe it, but it was right in New York City, and I just was like so flabbergasted. It's a great time, and I think people are gonna love it.
I can't wait to watch it. If you were to return to the stage, and if a producer said, "I will let you be in any show that you want on Broadway, currently on Broadway, or you can revive it," what show would you most like to do?
Okay, I would like to do The Walking Dead, the musical. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
It doesn't exist. Nobody's written it yet, but I think I would kill in it.
Literally.
But literally, yeah. But in the meantime, since no one has written it yet, I would love to do Matron Mama Morton in Chicago alongside Pamela Anderson.
That could happen. Let's work on that.
She's in it right now.
There still isn't a ton of trans representation out there. So some people might view you as like a spokesperson for trans people. Do you take that role on yourself, or how do you feel about that?
Well, it is really tough to feel the pressure of being a spokesperson, I think. And I certainly don't call myself the voice of the trans community. But I do think it is important to highlight different voices of trans people, different queer people, and different minorities and in general. And I'm obviously one of those voices. So I try my best to keep that in mind when I am meeting someone who says that they've never met a trans person for the first time, or having some type of an exchange. And I want those moments to be possible. That was certainly on my mind when I went to Drag Race. That was certainly on my mind when I did Head Over Heels on Broadway. And so those pressures are real, because I know, GLAAD tells us, actually was a Pew poll that says that I believe as much as 90%, 80 to 90% of Americans say that they've never met in person someone who's transgender and don't know anyone personally who's transgender. That's a lot of people who don't know. And so the pressure is definitely on, especially because we have all these discriminatory laws and bills people are, passing left and right.
Well, and it
making
seems
rules about our lives.
Yeah, and it seems specifically like conservatives are targeting trans people,
'Cause they
and they're making them like a big piece of their puzzle or their agenda for 2022. What can allies do to help their trans friends and family members?
Well, I think first get some trans friends and family members. I mean, you can't do anything about family,
Right.
but but you can have chosen family. And so really figuring out a way to acclimate yourself into, with other people of the community. The first thing people can do is follow some content creators and people online who are of trans experience and are part of the community and who are telling these stories. And I mean, it really is really good to go and follow a trans musician and a trans painter or somebody that does something, and, to support trans folks and queer folks outside of just being advocates and activists. Although it is important to learn, because these activists are going to be speaking about the experience and really talking about what's going on. That's important as well. And so to follow some of those people, that's a really great first step. And then the second thing is, even if you haven't met somebody who's trans or queer or gay, talk lovingly about them in front of your grandmother and your grandfather and all of these people who can go and vote. Speak about these people like they are the best people you've ever met. And that will have an effect, I believe.
Oh, I love, those are some great tips. And tip. So follow and tip and support financially trans people. All right. Everybody check out Peppermint's new music. It is out now. And make sure you have plans to see her on tour this summer. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you.
Gracias.
Bye. All right, everybody. That's a wrap. I'm waiting on my $52 million offer to do porn. Like, I literally will do anything.
It has to be 52 million though. All you have to do is play that
50,
Powerball.
Maybe 50.
That Powerball is damn near $500 million right now.
Nobody wins that.
Somebody's going to win eventually. That's the crazy thing.
Waste of money. All right.
It's going to be me.
Thank you all for watching and listening. Remember, share our podcast. Please help us grow this. PerezPodcast.com. PerezPodcast.com. Have a great week. We'll see you next one.